Inside of this massive blaze is one of the hardest Minecraft prisons, which I will be trying to escape. When I spawned in, I found myself on a crafting table hovering over a pool of lava. I looked down and saw what appeared to be an opening in the wall down below. I didn't see any way to reach it, so I began looking around. I noticed a chest hidden under the crafting table, and when I opened it up, I found a bow, an arrow, and an ender pearl. I grabbed the items and then decided to break the crafting table. I dropped down onto the chest and I looked around some more. I didn't see anything, so I decided to use the ender pearl to reach the opening in the wall. I successfully made it and I found that it led to another room. I saw a grass block in a corner with a red mushroom on it. I then noticed that it was a 3-block drop, so I knew there was a chance I couldn't get back up. I decided to check below the lava first, because if there's one thing that I have learned from my previous prison escapes, there is always something hidden below the lava. I looked for a chest and couldn't find anything, so I decided to just leave it and drop down. I broke the grass block to see if anything was hidden below, and I found nothing. I then looked up at the ceiling and noticed 2 holes. One led to a dispenser and the other led to a target. I realized I had a bow as well as an arrow still, so I shot the target and out popped an allium. I realized I had 50% of a suspicious stew, which would give me fire resistance. I looked back where I came from and realized I had missed the bowl, but luckily there was a crafting table I could break, and since I had one from earlier, I could use them to get back up. When I broke the table, I found that a brown mushroom was hidden behind, which would complete the stew. I grabbed the mushroom, then climbed out and grabbed the bowl. I then crafted the stew, but was unsure where to go, so I decided to examine the lava once again. When I reached the lava, I went into F5 and this time noticed what appeared to be a hole. I decided to take a risk and try to enter it. I ate the stew, which gave me fire resistance, and then I hopped into the hole. Luckily, it did lead somewhere, but I was not quick enough, so I was set on fire. I noticed a pool of lava in one corner and quickly hopped into it, which prevented me from dying. I then got a bearing of what was in the room. There were 2 signs, one saying parkour time and the other saying I was so close. There was a crafting table and a furnace near the pool of water. Inside of the furnace was a single stick, and there were also 2 openings. One appeared to be some simple parkour and the other led to a huge staircase. I decided to go up the staircase first because it would be easy to get back. At the top of the staircase, there was a sign that read, "Exit is below, clutch to escape." I continued up the stairs and found a huge drop below. I didn't have the necessary items to do a clutch, so I turned around and went back to the room. I did the parkour, which led me to a chest with 18 iron nuggets inside. I wasn't sure why I needed them, but I took them and grabbed the chest anyway. When I was back, I looked around and couldn't find anything, so I decided to consult with Master Oogway. My conversation with Oogway was deep and fulfilling, and the conversation gave me the necessary inspiration to continue. Nah, just kidding. He literally just told me to look below the lava. Below the lava, I found a hopper containing iron ore. I remembered the stick from earlier in the furnace, but I knew it wasn't enough to smelt the iron, so I decided to keep searching the room. Eventually, I found another stick, which I knew would be enough to smelt it. I smelted the iron and then turned the nuggets into iron ingots. I now had 3 iron ingots and noticed one of the craftable items was a bucket. I remembered the water from earlier and I realized I could use it to clutch and escape. I made the bucket, grabbed the water, and then climbed the stairs once again. When I reached the top, I jumped and clutched, which allowed me to enter the next room. The room was large and there was a button in the center of the room. I tried to scale up the walls to escape, but I found there was a barrier that blocked it off. There appeared to be nothing else in the room, so I decided to press the button, and when I pressed it, I was immediately teleported somewhere else. I found that my inventory and everything else was reset, and that I was in a new room. I was trapped in some bedrock and didn't see an immediate exit, but then I noticed what looked like the edge of a ladder. So I went into F5 and noticed that there were ladders all around my cell. I also saw the corner of a sign, but I was unable to read what it said. I tried crouching to get a view of it, but I noticed that I fell a bit when I walked forward. I looked down and realized I was standing on a hopper. I opened it up and inside I found an ender pearl. Now my first instinct was to throw it, but I stopped myself and remembered the sign. I managed to read it and it said to ender pearl into the corner. I thought for a moment, and then in combination with the ladders, figured I was supposed to do a ladder phase glitch, but if I used the pearl to exit the cage, I wouldn't be able to do the glitch. I decided to break the hopper below me to see if anything was behind it. I found that another hopper was actually hidden beside it, and inside of it was another ender pearl, which would allow me to do the glitch. I escaped the cage, grabbed the ladders, and did the glitch, which brought me into another room. This room had some parkour and a hallway on one side of the wall. I noticed some deep slate hidden inside the wall, trying to blend into the bedrock. I broke it, and behind it was a hopper with some string. I did the parkour, and it took me to a ladder and a sign that said clue to the next room. I wasn't sure what that meant, so I decided to go look at the hallway. The hallway had lava flowing on both sides, and at the end of it there was a chest. I carefully made my way down the hallway and opened the chest. Inside was a potion of fire resistance, which made me think there was something in the lava. I grabbed the potion and broke the chest, and then I checked to see if something was hidden in the lava. After a while, I found a hopper with some bamboo in it. I grabbed the bamboo and then went into F5 to see if a room was hidden behind the lava. Eventually, I found what looked like a room, so I drank the potion and hopped into the lava. On the other side, I found a hole with an ender pearl and an item frame. I broke it but couldn't pick it up because it was too far in. I realized I had the chest still, so I put it down to push the pearl out, and I picked it up and then exited the room before my potion expired. I was heading back to the parkour when I noticed some wood in the ceiling. I tested it and found that it was a crafting table. I wasn't sure what I needed it for, so I decided to just break it. I redid the parkour and went to the ladder, and I did the phase glitch. I made it into the next room, and this room had a furnace in a corner, a chest in the floor, and a 1 block tall tunnel. Above the furnace was a sign that read, "Have you gathered all of the signs I placed for fuel?" which scared me because I had not been doing that. But then I noticed a pixel on the furnace was freaking out. I figured I had nothing to lose, so I broke the furnace, and below it was a sign that told me it was just a distraction. To the left of it was a crafting table, which I broke to see if something was hidden behind. There was nothing there, so I went to the chest, and inside of it were some planks. I grabbed them and then thought about what I could craft. There were a bunch of options, but I decided I would use the planks to make a trapdoor to enter the tunnel. When I entered the tunnel, I noticed some deep slate, and behind it was a hopper with a boat in it. I grabbed it and continued crawling into the next room. The room had 2 signs, one telling me to boat clutch and the other telling you guys to subscribe, which is exactly what you should do. I tried doing the boat clutch, but the moment I exited the room, I was teleported. I found myself outside the prison and in the nether. In front of me were some signs which told me I was close to escaping, but I have to find a portal first. Oh, and the whole thing was gonna explode, so I quickly grabbed the boots in front of me, saw they had feather falling, and then began planning my escape. I noticed I could jump onto part of the blaze and then onto the fortress, but there were a ton of blazes at the fortress. With no other choice, I went for it, and when I reached the fortress, I was immediately lit up by the blazes. I noticed I could jump down to the right, so I did. I then ran through the forest and saw a staircase I could climb up. When I reached the top, I found the portal and ran to it, which allowed me to escape. By the way, I started a Discord server, so make sure to join that.